Always Irish Show. That's right. Welcome in, welcome back, folks, to a respect but verify Georgia Bulldog edition of the Always Irish Show. As always, you can find the program on YouTube. Do it. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Appreciate it very much. Give the video a thumbs up. That helps Johnny out as well. Notifications on that way you don't miss nothing. Twitter. Search bar Always Irish. Always Irish Inc. Emails alwaysirishnD@gmail.com. Audio only, anywhere you want it, you can get it. If you don't want to see my face, ain't nobody going to blame you for that. The call-in lines, they're popping. 312-988-15. Dialed up. Tell Uncle Johnny all you've heard and seen. Notre Dame Fighting Irish Football, brought to you by Sports Illustrated. Read all about it. We got articles for you every day of the week. You don't want to see me, you don't want to hear me, read it. Patreon.com/Always Irish. He the former captain. He the leading tackler. He's fighting with Dan Dockich on Twitter, and it makes me smile. He is your captain. It's Mike Goolsby. NDCFP, enter it in Patreon. Get yourself a discount so we could all go over this playoff run together. Thanks to everybody who's there. Appreciate it. All right. Welcome in. Welcome back. How quickly we move from celebrating the Indiana win to talking about them dogs, baby. Here we are. Here we are. Maybe it's moved from the time I'm recording this till where when I post it and it goes live. Early line as Georgia is a 1.5-point favorite. You wonder maybe how much of that has to do with we like what we saw from Notre Dame. How much of that is the injury to the quarterback position for Georgia? I don't know. But that's where I saw this morning. So I'm really interested to know how Notre Dame fans are looking at this, how you're framing this upcoming battle, right? Notre Dame and Marcus Freeman are trying to get where Kirby got his dogs. The top of the mountain. Listen, I respect Kirby. He's proven himself to be a championship-winning coach and recruiter. That's the highest level there is, and he's proven it multiple times. He's gonna have these guys prepared. He's been through this, been there, done that. The talent. I realize the quarterback situation is not ideal, but everybody knows the talent in the Georgia program. It's a top 3 recruiting outlet year in, year out. And if they're number 2 and 3, it's almost a disappointment. They are top 3. I brought it up 247. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 every damn year. This roster is loaded with 4- and 5-star guys. Everybody knows that. They have top talent. They have top-notch coaching. This being said, no team in this bracket remaining, and not just in our bracket, in the whole bracket, in the whole tournament. There's no perfect team. Everybody has looked vulnerable in their own way at certain points throughout this year. Excuse me, you guys. I am still struggling, man. Just not feeling 100%. Every team left has strengths and weaknesses. There is no one head and shoulders team above everybody else that is just dominated left. No doubt, no matter what, like every team has looked vulnerable at times to certain things this year. And if you look around a lot of the national talking heads, a lot of them are picking like from a few, 3 or 4 different teams to make, when they say, who do you got winning it all? Picking a bunch of different teams. Like there's just not that one obvious, clear, head and shoulders above everybody else team this year. There just is. Everybody's looked vulnerable at times. Notre Dame and everybody else. I'm certainly not acting like we're impervious to that. Everybody. When I say everybody, I mean it. I think Notre Dame should kind of lean into this underdog narrative here. You want to get where they have been. And it wasn't so long ago, you guys, that Georgia didn't have a championship since the 80s, and it went back even further than 88. Was it in 1980 on the dot? It wasn't that long ago they were battling that demon of being a big-time program, a big-time element, and not having that title since the 80s. That's a battle that Georgia's had to fight their way through. You want to get where they have been, and there's only one way you're going to do it. You got to just beat them. You got to just beat them. You don't need to have the most, oh, look at how much talent, blah, blah, blah. You don't need to have the most talented roster. You just need to play better than them one night. You don't need, spare me. Look at how much talent they have. 4 and 5 star. Look at that. I just broke it all down. You don't have to have the most talented roster. You just got to play better on one night. Alabama beat Georgia. Look how their year turned out. Are they in the playoff? No. Ole Miss beat Georgia. Look how that turned out. Are they in the playoff? No. Georgia Tech took Georgia to 8 overtimes. So while I totally acknowledge and fully respect Georgia's talent and coaching, they've proven to be vulnerable. That is not a Notre Dame fan running their mouth out of thin air. They've shown vulnerabilities. So is Notre Dame. Again, I'm not acting like I'm looking down on them or whatever. I'm just saying, if Georgia Tech can take them to 8 overtimes, why would I not think Notre Dame can compete and beat this team? I totally respect the talent and the coaching, and they've proven themselves on the big stage many times, all of that. But it's not a theory or a hopeful wishing to look at some of their moments this year and see some vulnerabilities. Maybe that aren't there when they're a full tilt, 100% kicking everybody's face in, like some of the Georgia team or the Alabama teams that are head and shoulders above everybody. It's just not one of those years for anybody. I think the theme of this game for me is respect but verify. Respect but verify. If you're going to beat Georgia, I mean, it's probably your bet when you go over the resume and the rough spots I showed, and then they missing the starting quarterback. Like, if you're going to make a move on Georgia, this is probably the best chance you're going to have to do it, right? This is not the top-notch number one Georgia team that this guy has had there. That's what I'm saying. So I totally respect, everything that they built there, and the recruiting operation is it's mind blowing how much talent they accumulate. It's just that doesn't win the game. That alone doesn't win the game. Notre Dame's notched one piece of new history already for the right reasons. It's just, how far can you run with this? This is a different kind of test. This is a different kind of challenge. Everybody knows you're swinging into a bigger weight class here. This is different. This is different. And so, a lot of people are saying Indiana shouldn't have been in the tournament, blah, 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 whatever. This is your chance to prove it on the big stage yet again against a better roster that everybody respects. Although, if Notre Dame should end up winning, the narrative's going to be, oh, you only did that because starting quarterback's out. So that will be the social media narrative. I don't think Notre Dame people should care at that point. Like, you take what you get when you could get it. For about 30 years of my life, if Notre Dame didn't have bad luck, they didn't have any luck at all. And you got a shamrock as half your logos. Come on. I mean, seriously. Take it if you could get it and don't care what people say about you. So maybe this is your best chance to jump Georgia when they got that quarterback situation, and they've looked vulnerable this year. You don't have to have the most talented roster. You just got to be better than them on that night. Just like Lou used to say. And so I just respect but verify. Like, nobody should be overlooking that Georgia coaching staff and roster. But you could go out there and there's no reason Notre Dame can't play a good game, play a good defense, catch a break or two, play a solid game, be in it late, and win the game. And so it'll be interesting to see what the narratives are leading up to this. Let's see where that point spread ends up. Let's see what the public thinks on this. Let's see what some of these talking heads pick. Who's bold and says, oh, I think this is it. Notre Dame's going to get them or whatever. But Notre Dame's trying to climb that hill. It's just interesting to me. Notre Dame's trying to climb that hill that Georgia had to climb, and it isn't easy. Last title since the 80s, but you're a big boy and you're frustrated. You just can't quite get back to that level. And it's not easy once you're back down to come back up. It's a battle. And now you have this young Notre Dame coach trying to change those narratives that have plagued Notre Dame for 30 years, and with a younger, more modern mindset and all the changes that have come with Freeman and everything. And he's trying to get to that level. Kirby got Georgia. And so respect, but verify. It would be very unwise of any Notre Dame fan to be like, oh, I don't respect Georgia at all. Like that, we're going to kill them. I don't think that's appropriate. But I don't think it's wild at all to be like, if Notre Dame plays a really solid football game, this should be a good, close game. Notre Dame can play with them. I don't think that's a wild concept, man. So I don't know. Notre Dame's got a big chance here to change a lot more narratives. You know, at least you won last week, and you're not dealing with any of those problems that would have came if you didn't. But like, this is another level. This is a different notch up. This would signify something very different if you're able to beat a Georgia team than beat an Indiana team at home. This would indicate something very, very different. Very different. And if Notre Dame doesn't succeed in this moment and falls short, I wonder if it's like when you think about how the Notre Dame community will respond, I wonder if it depends what it looks like. Like I used to say in the Kelly era, if we played a really good, clean, hard-fought, good football game and just lost to a better team, I could live with that. But that didn't happen. Too often it was just, I couldn't say we played a really good, clean, good game and just got beat because we were messing up ourselves too often. Like, so I wonder if the narrative, if we fall short, is going to depend on what it looks like and feels like. Last second field goal, you battle Georgia all the way down. Like, is that different than if it ends up looking like Notre Dame's other recent big playoff games that are embarrassing? So this is going to be really, really interesting. And but I do see a parallel there of that brand name helmet. Hasn't won it all since the 80s. Got a new coach trying to build the program back up to glory. I see a lot of that overlap. Obviously, it's different. We're never going to recruit for a million reasons. I'm not saying that to that level. Just saying that general storyline and theme of what Georgia had to overcome to get back to the top. It ain't easy. It ain't easy. And it hasn't been easy on Marcus Freeman. He's had a lot of major challenges in the first couple years here. And some very public mistakes and like learning things that are just so public and hurt so much, and he had to own it all. He wasn't learning at Cincinnati State Junior College where your games aren't even on TV. Get your mistakes out of the way. No one sees it. His growing pains have been so public. Like, it's been a rocky couple years, man. This is the battle to try and modernize a program and get it back to the top. It is. I'm thrilled we beat Indiana. One of the best nights of my Notre Dame fandom just because of all the dynamics involved that were new and historic. This is a different level. This is a different level. And if you manage to get this win, even by 1 point, no matter what it looks like, now you're really onto something. But it is a battle to get a program that had a lot of glory and dip back down and fight back up. It ain't easy. So I am respect but verify on this. I'm not bowing down, and it's just like an impossible task, but I am not going to ignore that coaching staff and that roster, and I'm not going to take any of that for granted and underplay what it is and how strong it is. So this is going to be really, really interesting. Let me know what you guys think about this. I respect but verify Georgia. Don't forget to check out the merchandise. The link is in the description. You can browse and carouse all the different Always Irish gear. Make sure you head over there and get something for the next tailgate. Thanks for being here.